I love everything about this Bubu. I love the freeness, I love the comfort, like everything, fashion and comfort count me in. It's giving everything it's supposed to give, all the elegance and classiness all in one. You can play around it, you can alter your own measurements. Like for this sleeve, if you don't want yours to be this wide, any measurement I give in the tutorial, you can just reduce by any number of inches you want to. Okay, that's it. With the facing going on at the neck area and then on the sleeve as well, and then there's a pocket here. I don't know if you can see. Hi guys, and welcome back to yet another tutorial video. Today guys, we're going to be making this beautiful bubu with the pocket. I'm not sure you can see the pocket, but I'm going to be inserting the full dress somewhere on the screen, but this is how far I can go with this. But you're going to be having the full picture somewhere on the screen, whatever, but you're going to be having that. So this is what we are going to be making, this beautiful cut together bubu with the facing going on at the neck area and then on the sleeve as well, and with the pockets going on here. So this is what we are going to be making. But in the case that the editing of this video becomes too long, I'm going to be separating the pocket tutorial from the main body. So this the main body tutorial is going to be different, and then the pocket tutorial is going to come after this. Without further ado guys, let's dive right into the tutorial. Meanwhile, do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this video a like at the end of this tutorial, and let's get started.
And for the folding, because I do not want to have any stitching or any joining at the shoulder area, I'll first of all fold it over like so to get this is for the length of the dress. I'll fold it like so that I can get the length part of the bubu. After getting the folding for the length, I will now fold it like so. This is for the width of the fabric. The first folding was to get the length, and then the second folding is to get the wideness of the bubu. So with that being done, we're ready to start with the process of making our bubu, starting with the body measurements. So the very next thing to do is to mark out the length of the dress, and for the length I'm going to be using the total length I'm supposed to use for this is 42 inches, then plus 2 inches fold edge allowance. This is because I want the folding at the down part to be a little bit wide. I don't want it tiny. And next in line is to mark out the rest of the vertical body measurements, which is just 2 of them for this bubu, which is the under bust and then the shoulder to the hip measurements. So for the under bust measurements, you use your under bust minus 1 inch or minus 1.5, depending on how wide or how minimized you want the sleeve opening to be, or even 2 inches, like I said, depending on how wide you want your sleeve opening to be. So once you get that, you now measure from your shoulder to the hip length. You are not adding anything to this one, you are not subtracting anything. From the shoulder to the hip length, you are not adding or you are not subtracting. So once you have these 2 measurements, we are ready to start with the horizontal measurement mark out. And to start with that, the first one we are going to be marking out is the shoulder measurement. But in this case, we are not going to be using the shoulder like in particular. So to get this, you are going to be measuring from your center back. That's from the center back to where you want the sleeve of the bubu to terminate. Do you get that? If you don't have like directly from the center back to where you want the sleeve to be, that's when you can use your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus the sleeve length that you want to use. So either ways, you'll be getting the same thing. But the easiest way out is to mark from the center back to the length of the sleeve that you want, just like I'm going to be showing to you on the screen. So this is how you measure from center back to where you want the sleeve to terminate. So once you've gotten that, you come down to this under bust length that you minus 1.5 or 2 depending on what you minus, and you also mark what you marked at the upper part. That is from the center back to where you want the sleeve to terminate. After that, you now connect both lines together with a straight line like so. So this is the connection of the 2 points. After doing that, the next thing that we are going to be doing is at this shoulder to the hip length area, you divide the hip measurement by 4 plus an extra 2 to 3 inches depending on how free you want the bubu to be. So for this, I have the hip to be 42 divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches, and whatever I have here, that's what I'm going to be marking at the dress length too. That means that since I have a total of 13 inches here, at the dress length also I'm going to be marking 13 inches, and then I connect with a straight line. So at this point, I'm going to be connecting from the under bust back to the hip area like so. But to do that, I'm not going to be starting at the exact point. I mark out 1 inch out, like away from that point, and then I start my connection like so. So this is how I'm just giving a rough sketch at this point so that I will know if I can continue with that. So that is very okay. So I'm now marking, and this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like from the upper part, and then down. Next we are going to be marking out the neckline, and to mark out the neckline, like this is the front and back together, so I'm going to be cutting the neckline for the back first before I separate it and then cut out that for the front. Okay, so to get that, I'm going to be using the neck width of 3 inches for the back, that's back and front, and then for the back I use a depth of 2 inches, so I'm connecting the width to the depth. After which this is ready for cut out before I now open up and then cut out the neckline for the front alone. So this is what the cutting looks like, and after cutting, guys, this is what the bubu looks like. At this point I'm going to be trimming out the length. So with that being done, I open up like so. As you can see, this is the front and back. There's no joining at the shoulder or stitching, just as you can see me trying to show you that. You can see that we don't have any stitching at the shoulder area. So now I'm ready to cut out the neckline for the front, and to do that I'm going to be opening it up like so, and then at the center front and back I'm going to be picking it up like this. So this is the center front and back, and now because I already have the front cut out, I already have 2 inches taken out from the front. So from that 2 inches, you can see I placed my tape rule at the 2 inches mark, and then I get the depth of the front neckline, which is 7.5 inches. You can use the depth you want, and remember this is a V neckline, so I'm going to be connecting like so with the help of my curve rule. So this is what the shaping of the neckline for the front looks like, and then I cut that out. So with that we have the neckline for both the front and the back already, and this is what the neckline for the front eventually looks like. Is a V neck at the front and then a U neck at the back. Okay, so this is what we have, and this is what we are going to be using for our taping or our facing for the neckline area and the sleeve area. And to start with that, I fold it over again like so, and then I get this piece that I'm going to be using for our turn up at the neckline area, and then I place the main bubu on it like so, so that I can mark out the shape of the neckline. Remember, this is our center fold area for the back, and then the center fold area for the front as well. So at this point I'm going to be marking the length that I want the facing to terminate. I want it to terminate at the half waist length, which is exactly the length that I have. So at this point I'm going to be marking out the neckline area for both the front and the back on the piece that I'm going to be using for the facing. So this is me cutting it out. After cutting that out, this is what it should look like. Okay, so if I take this out, this is what this piece should look like. And next I'm going to be marking the width that I want the facing to be. So I want the facing to be a total of 3 inches wide. So I'm marking 3 inches all the way round the shape of the neckline all the way down. So this is me connecting all the points, and then I have it cut out. And after cutting out the shape, this is what it looks like by the time I open it up. So open it up, this is what we have. You can see we have the shape of our neckline and our facing at the same time. So I come back to the main bubu to place the facing on it. So this is me placing the facing on the main bubu before having it stitched down, which we are going to be coming back to very soon. Next we are going to be cutting the facing for the sleeve as well. So to cut that, I get the sleeve part. This is the part I'm going to be using for the sleeve. You can see I fold it into 2 as well, and then I place the sleeve part on it like so. I'm going to be cutting out the shape of the sleeve, as you can see me. So this is what I have for the sleeve, and I'm going to be cutting 2 of these. That is for the 2 sleeves. So I take that out and I come back to the neck piece area, and for this I fold back like so, and at this curved area I'm going to be notching so that it will be easy for me to manipulate. So to start the folding of the edge of this piece, I fold half an inch, or you can use lesser than that depending on what is going to be easy for you to manipulate around the shape of this curve, because this is not an easy one to manipulate if you are not careful and patient. So as you iron round folding over, make sure it is smooth, make sure it is clean, make sure it is not looking all tacky and rough. So after doing that, you come down to the down part as well, and then you fold over, and after that this is what it should look like. So you turn over to the back part and also flatten out, so you can see how flat it is looking, and then you get back your main piece and place it over the neckline. And for the placement, this is the right side of the facing against the wrong part of the bubu, okay, so that you don't misplace the placement, and then you stitch around the neckline before you now turn over to the right side of the bubu. So this is it after stitching. After stitching to the neckline, as into the bodies of the bubu, you notch around the neckline like so. So after notching of the neckline, the next thing is to top stitch on the neckline as well, so that this is just to facilitate the neatness and the perfect look look of this. So you stitch on the main bubble, not on the facing round like so. After stitching, this is what it looks like. That's the top stitching, and this is what, can see how I top stitch on the main bubble, not on the facing, and then you turn it out to the right side, and then you carefully give it a good press so that everything is well laid flat. For this next step, you can skip it if you don't have a hemming gum or if you think it is not necessary, but for me, I'm going to be doing that. So I placed a hemming gum under the facings. This is just to hold it in place so that by the time I am stitching, I'm not finding it difficult or trying to use my hand to, hold anything down. Everything is already, held down with the help of the hemming gum. So I iron down the hemming gum, and as you can see, by the time I'm stitching, you can see this is not moving up and down. So I'm going to be stitching around the tip of the facing like so. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. And next, it's time for me to place this on the sleeve. So in placing that, I place the center of this on the boo-boo, and I'm going to be stitching using 1/2 inch all the way down before I turn over. But remember, I'm going to be top stitching just like I did to the neck area. So after stitching and top stitching, this is what it should look like. And then I fold over to the right side of the boo-boo like so. After folding, I'm going to be ironing it out, making sure everything is well laid, very flat. After ironing out, I'm going to be folding over the edge using 1/2 inch like so, just like I did to the neck piece area. So you fold over the tip of the sleeve facing again. Just remember what I did to the neck part, and then I hold down with the help of a hemming gum again. Remember what the hemming gum would do. So after that, I'm going to be stitching at the tip like so. Make sure your stitching is very neat and straight. So after doing that, this is what we have for the neck piece area and then the sleeve area. So with this, we have our neck and our sleeve area sorted out. So this is what your boo-boo should look like. And at this point, we have very few steps to finish up with this boo-boo. In case you do not want the pocket included in yours, then you are almost at the tail end of your boo-boo making. But if you want the pocket included, then click on the link in this description box to watch the tutorial for the pocket making. So with that, at this point, you just hold the sides of your boo-boo by 1 inch and then hold it down by 2 inches, and guys, your boo-boo is all set and ready. I'm sure you've enjoyed watching this tutorial. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and then guys, see you in my next one, that is the pocket making of this boo-boo. Thank you for watching. Bye.